Hello and welcome. Today we've got Melissa Redpill, and today we are going to be discussing the Biden crimes exposed. Now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to our Telegram channels and to nicholasveniamin.com for my free email updates. And if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, I will leave the link below in the description for the full interview, unless, of course, myself and Melissa can choose our words wisely due to the insane censorship that's happening right now. Melissa, thank you for joining me. How are you and what have you been up to?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to see you. I've missed you. Yeah, I've just been seeing all this mayhem going on online, and I wanted to make sure to share it with everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so everybody can see the latest that's going on. So remind me what we're calling this.
We're going to call this the Biden crimes exposed. It's basically all the data that has been dropped by 4chan, I believe you mentioned, where the 17th movement, the 17th letter was, also began. So why don't you tell us, and the way, Melissa, the way I want you to explain this is, if somebody is watching this for the first time and they're learning that the Biden family is corrupt and they are just learning about it, where do we begin with all this education that you would like to share with the viewers, please? That's the angle I think we need to go through.
I love it. Okay. So I first found out about this about 4 years ago, and there are chat boards online where you can go and you can share information. And some people call it the dark web. So it's not really a platform like Facebook or, some of the YouTube or whatever. This is where people go to share this information. And I'll just tell you, 4chan is not for the timid. It is wild and woolly over there. If you say anything and they can tell that you're a novice, you will probably get lambasted. And they're free over there. They will say anything and everything. Now, they will not allow violence. They won't allow anything like anything to hurt children, anything like that. Okay, so but they are amazing patriots. There are many amazing patriots because they do not want any of this corruption to continue anywhere in the world. They are great patriots over there.
So, Melissa, what is the main purpose of the creation of 4chan? And then tell us what they have been releasing on 4chan.
Right. So they just want to, it's really just a board where you can speak freely, right? It's just a chat room where people go in, and it's like a giant text. Think of it as a text board where people can type and put pictures and share information, share links. And so everyone can go in there and look at you can just go over there and what they call lurk and just see what is going on. There are different boards. It's just not just 4chan. There's 8chan. Okay.
So how do we know that these chat rooms are credible, and who is behind them?
Right. Well, so these computer experts have created these platforms where it's just a free marketplace for people to go and share information. And so then really, just like anything that we go and research, you have to just do your own research to find out, what is this? Is this something that is credible? You have to just do your own research, and you see pictures. You say, okay, is this a valid picture? Is this Photoshop? And you'll see it in the link. You'll follow the link, and you'll see it. Just research for yourself to see if this is something you feel like it's credible.
Of course, I mean, there are things that we might see, so we think, oh, is that Photoshopped? But hang on a second, Donald Trump mentioned it in his rally. So what we do is we put the pieces together, and we're able to see what's true and what isn't true. And obviously, these channels and platforms start to build credibility based on what some people in the authority, like President Trump, has been saying. So we put the pieces together, and obviously, we sort of, the public that's watching these chat rooms start to, there's a trust that's built over time. Okay, great. So
there are some what we call trolls over there, who are just over there just to cause trouble and to maybe put out something that's not true. So you just have to always be on your toes and watching. But what's happening is this information starts to become leak out of this 4chan or 8chan board and be shared more on the regular social media. And first of all, when it gets clamped down, a lot of times you realize, hey, that we're on to something. This is not just some crazy conspiracy theory. And also you'll start to see it actually some of these times it will get onto the mainstream media because they realize, hey, we have to talk about this and either put it down or to explain it in our own, from our perspective. Okay. So what happened was many of you might have remembered that man, what was his name? His name escapes me, that Hunter Biden took his laptop to be repaired, and Mac, it was at that repair shop, and he gave it over to the FBI. And he thought they were actually, he gave a copy of it to Giuliani. So he didn't just give it to the FBI because I guess he didn't really trust the FBI, kind of smart. And then he gave a copy to Giuliani. So Giuliani has said that there are very bad pictures on there of hurting children, child porn, very inappropriate relationships between Hunter Biden and just proving beyond a shadow of doubt that this family is a very troubled family from Joe Biden on down. Okay. And so but we didn't have any of these pictures, and we didn't have any of these text messages. And so they've called this the laptop from hell. And Giuliani, who everybody, believes Giuliani is legit. He has verified, yes, this is legit. These are really valid pictures. He has a copy of it. But the FBI all this time never would come out and say anything. They just didn't say boo about it, didn't expose it. So there's a guy named Jack Maxey. He used to be on Steve Bannon's show. He worked along with him. Well, he got a copy of it. I don't remember who he got it from, but anyway, he has been researching it, and he was able to, he said, undelete a lot of files that maybe Hunter Biden, when he delivered the laptop over to this repair shop, he thought that these had been deleted, but Jack Maxey was able to undelete these files. And so he told Mac that, and Mac said, no, that's not true. There's nothing like that. Well, now Jack Maxey works with this guy. I'm going to show you a picture of him. I don't even know if it tells us his name. Well, what Jack Maxey said is that this man had a manic episode where he threw caution to the wind because they're so frustrated that the FBI won't do anything. That's exactly how we all feel. We want someone to do something about this to protect the children and to expose these people and to bring them to justice. And so he ended up in a manic episode dropping all of this on 4chan.
It's very interesting. All this data. It's very interesting because this is a topic that is very concerning, not just with the Biden crime family, the Biden family, they are the crime family too, but also with other elites like the Vatican. They have underground tunnels where they traffic children. And I've done another interview yesterday with David Mahoney talking about Rome being on fire. And we believe that it's the tunnels that the white hats are destroying. Because that's what they built to traffic children. So this is huge when people find out what's going on with the children. Melissa, please go ahead and show us.
Yes.
Please.
Yes. Okay. So I just for those who don't know me, I'm from my website is freedomforce.live. And I always look at this in the light of God's word, because I've been studying God's word for like more years than I care to say and teaching it to children. But when you're teaching anybody anything, you have to really learn it yourself really, really well. And so what they did back in the day, like right after Jesus, right during that time, they had these temples above ground. This was common. Everybody did this. This was fine. This was, A-okay. And then right after that, they had to go underground. And this is exactly what you're talking about. They created these tunnels. That this is going on underneath our feet. Now, someone posted on my Telegram today. They're like, but nobody's getting arrested. Well, we do know Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell. These are some of the very top players, top ones in this very crime ring who have been arrested. So, don't think that nothing is happening. Okay. But it's all got to be according to this perfect timing. So anyway, the good news is, humanity is not going to put up with this. So this, I know it's very, very small, but this was a message that was sent out by Jack Maxey, the one who had access to this data. He has been actually over in Switzerland trying to stay safe because they know that he has this data. And he's been trying to get the FBI to do something. Well, this man right here, he calls himself Darth Elon. Whatever. He said, and I'll play you the video. So now that he's released this data, he said that he's in danger of his life. Now, he's, by Maxey's account, he's having a manic episode. Here's what he says. Just so everyone knows, these are all real. All this data that's being released on 4chan and flooding Twitter, it's real. But my tech guy had a nervous breakdown or basically a psychotic episode and went rogue and published this stuff. Because Maxey's been sitting on it all this time. He wasn't going to release it. He full on believed in me and everyone else at CIA, including the news personalities who seem to have ignored all of this. Also, he believes the media, FBI, CIA, DOJ do not care about little children. He's right about that, but extremely unstable right now. I would never have posted this stuff and never have, because the real issues are the betrayal by the Bidens et al. And our intelligence agencies of the American people to the communist Chinese. The saddest part is I can't even find a single sheriff to review the 80,000 images we recovered. That failure in part is why that's his name, Vincent Kaufman, lost it. Good person who basically has lost all faith in the institutions of the West. I sincerely hope he stops, but he has told many lies to me since he fled with Switzerland to New Zealand. And truth be known, has probably been planning this for months. So there's more. This is just from this iPhone. So it's very, very strange. I'm not going to have time to share all these pictures, but it's all over my various Telegram accounts. But phone numbers, images, we're being very, very careful not to share anything that is anything about harming a child at all. So everyone, if you see any of this, be very careful. Do not have it on your phone. Do not have anything that you share any of this type of information. But everyone's being, they know the dangers of this, but they're just trying to share, in the best way that they can. Anyway, so now if he already released this iPhone, likely he potentially could release the entire laptop, which is gigantic. Mm-hmm. And it's just so overwhelming there's no doubt about it, that this family is extremely troubled, and not just their family, but this is how connecting the dots. This is how all the politicians are controlled and blackmailed. And that's how they rise into these top levels of power all over the world. And that really makes sense, because we know they're clearly not working on the behalf of the people. They're working on behalf of someone else.
Absolutely.
So he does say this. He says, one brave sheriff could change all this because I refuse to look at those images without the cover of law. Yes, Hunter's one of the most evil people I've ever known, but so is his family and the FBI, CIA, and DOJ and the media that foisted these grifter traitors on America and the world. So this is what Jack Maxey was saying. And so here's this guy saying, he's in fear for his life.
Day after the iPhone, I got a call and basically telling me that some intel guy called Jack and told him that I'm dead, that I have a target on my back, and that I'm done. That pretty much is. So,
what did he say?
This.
Well, Melissa, if you could tell us what he said, we didn't quite hear that.
Oh, really? I'm so sorry. It was really loud on my end. Sorry about that.
Low on this side.
That's crazy. I don't know. That happened last time. I didn't know really why. Anyway, I have to figure out why it's doing that, because I hear it really loud. Anyway, the point is, he said that as soon as he dropped this data on 4chan, that he got a message that he's by some intel person that he's dead.
Right.
So he's in fear for his life.
Right. I see. And this is why he's wearing sunglasses, to keep himself discreet.
Maybe. This is the one that Jack Maxey was talking about, is potentially in New Zealand. Who knows where he is? But, hopefully this guy knows how to hide his whereabouts, because I think of him as, a patriot to expose this stuff, because no one else would. And people need to know. This is really what it has to be. People have to come to grips with the fact that these people who are in these high positions of power are criminals. Now, in the past, they probably wouldn't have wanted to believe it because they thought, he was good and all this. But I think now the gas prices are outrageous. People are maybe a little more willing to believe it. So
absolutely.
I want you to see that. Okay, so he posted this. I'm just not going to read this, but this is a string of text messages this is just one example of what has been dropped. Text messages between Hunter Biden and his niece, Natalie Biden. Okay, many of you have seen. I'm going to show you a gross picture. So if you don't want to see it, I'll just tell you. I'm showing it right now, and I'll tell you as soon as it's off the screen. But this is clearly an inappropriate kiss between Biden and his granddaughter. It's just, this is a very
basically
mild.
Biden kissing his niece on the lips.
Yes.
And there's three
pictures. I'm sorry.
And there's 3 of these pictures.
Right. So it's not just a one-off. Right. And so they have very inappropriate relationships. And even President Trump has said before that, yes, Hunter is a very troubled person, but he doesn't really, he blames really Joe for making him into this monster. Okay. And he's had to resort to drugs to try to deal with all of this. So it's unfortunately, these people have been, if you want to call it MK Ultra, which is like their mind has been warped and twisted. So anyway, so I'm not going to read these, but these text messages are not what you would consider normal or appropriate between, Hunter Biden and his niece, Natalie, and then also his wife, Hallie Biden. This is Hunter's, the widow of Joe's other son, Beau, told a therapist that Hunter was sexually inappropriate with Natalie Biden, Joe's granddaughter. So on many, many accounts, this has to come out, and people have to realize who these people are, that they're not who the media props them up to be. Here's another one where this is just a screenshot. He took, everything was on his phone. He had screenshots of everything, which I have a lot of screenshots, but not like this. That is a conversation, text message string that he's having with the people to pay this Russian escort. I'll read it. Here's Hunter Biden complaining to the person who set him up with a Russian escort service that his bank threw up red flags and froze his account after he tried to wire $9,500 to a Russian bank account. Joe Biden wired Hunter $5,000 while he was actively engaged with a Russian escort service that was labeled a sex trafficking ring in a 2020 Senate report. Mm-hmm. So the fact that when Joe Biden says he doesn't know anything about, Hunter Biden's dealings, then that's clearly wrong. And so this is where they're talking about, where he's going to send the money, this wire transfer to, so that he can pay off this Russian escort service. And I don't even know. I have another image. It's like a check for $3,000. I mean, who knew it was that kind of money? But anyway, those are the kinds of things that we are seeing. Let me see. Let me go back and see if I can get this one for you. Over my Truth Social, you guys, is at 1,000 years of peace, because that's where we're headed. We're headed to beautiful days once we get, that's gone. Anyway, the point is, go on there and you can see more images, but you trust me, I'm not going to post anything that's, inappropriate or that you have to be worried about. If you go on 4chan.org, be prepared that you might, see something that you might not want to see. So just be prepared, to go on there. We've got all, just grow up and deal with it, right? We can't just hide away from it. But anyway, so just be prepared. So this is the other thing I wanted us to see today, is that Trump and Elon Musk are having kind of a Twitter war right now. So those of you guys who saw the Alaska rally, President Trump said that Elon is a BS artist. So I take that actually in a positive way. I don't think he's calling him out that he's no good. I think he's saying this guy knows how to deal with the media. That these two, both he and President Trump, he says he's another BS artist. I think President Trump is a BS artist, but in a good way, that they know how to get information out into the public arena where people share it and want to see what's going on. Because, when they're having a Twitter fight, or social media fight, you want to go, hey, let's see what's going on. Let's find out, what these two of the wealthiest people in the whole wide world, what are they arguing about? And everybody, it's like a train wreck. We've got to go see what's going on.
Absolutely.
So he said that. And then President Trump, okay, so he posted that. And then Elon Musk, okay, so he said that Elon Musk told me he voted for me. That's what President Trump said at the Alaska rally last Saturday night. And then Elon Musk replied, not true, because Bongino posted this because President Trump obviously is not on Twitter. And so Elon said, not true.
Well,
so everybody's like, okay.
It must be confusing. They're doing it for optics, to confuse, to distract, because they are artists of dealing with bullshit. That's what I think they meant.
Right. That's right. That is true. So yeah, it's they're both really good at getting the entire country just like on the edge of their seat to find out what are they going to say next. So I think how many followers does Elon have? I mean, millions. So that's a big deal. So then he also, so then Joe Pags had to get involved. Okay. Oh, I gotta show you this. There was one more let me see if I can find it. That's not the one. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. So I had another one, but basically where President Trump, Elon Musk posted a picture of Chuck Norris over a chessboard. And it's just had one little pawn, and on the other side, it had all the entire row of chess pieces. And he just looked like he was completely confident. And I think that's really what's the deal. The Twitter price has gone down to like $11. It's ridiculous. He's just completely destroyed. Who else could do such a thing to dismantle Twitter and expose that? So then Joe Pags had to get involved. So he said, so Elon Musk said, yeah, but too much drama about President Trump. He says, do we really want a bull in a china shop situation every single day? Also, I think the legal maximum age for start of presidential term should be 69. That thing is loaded.
So
go ahead.
What do you make of that?
Well, okay. You know me, and I always look at biblical astronomy. And who knows the stars really more than Elon Musk, right? That is his whole, Starlink and all that. So if you ever look at Taurus the bull, it's like a bull in a china shop. Taurus the bull is the image, because God put these stars in there for us. He says that, and that each of the stars has a name, and that's how you determine what each of them, the constellations represent. And so basically Taurus is the Lord coming to destroy these evildoers, to stop this child trafficking and all this evil crimes that's been happening across the entire world. And so I just find it funny, of all the things that he could have said, he's saying, do we want a bull in a china shop? And is that a phrase you guys use in your country?
I haven't heard of it, unless I haven't.
No,
I don't know.
Okay, well, I guess it's an American phrase. A bull in a china shop would just wreak so much havoc, right? You've got a china shop. Everyone will walk carefully, like when you're a little child and your mom says, "Keep your arms in, don't knock over the china." And so, what is President Trump? He's coming in and he's just wrecking everything that they have built up. They're destroying Twitter. They're destroying, the deep state. Everything's being destroyed. So do we want that? And most people are like, no, he's just too much trouble and mean tweets and all that. Well, he's actually destroying this evil system that has been ruling over us. I just find it, I think it's interesting that he talks about the presidential term should start at 69. There's a lot of imagery and symbolism there. Anyway, the point is, I just thought, he was having to push back. He was pushing back on President Trump. And so Joe Pags had to get involved. And then Bannon has to get involved. He says Musk knows as little about American politics as he knows about takeovers. Trump and MAGA are ascendant. So, yeah, because he's saying it's time. Oh, there was another one. I don't even know where that one is. But yeah, so Elon Musk was saying that it was time for, him to sail off into the sunset and hang up his hat. So yeah, then Steve Bannon had to jump into the fray. Everybody's got to get a piece of the action and draw everybody like, hey, look and see what's going on. So the reality is, I feel like Musk knows a lot about politics. He did not get where he is without knowing a lot about politics. And he didn't destroy Twitter by accident. He's extremely knowledgeable about all this. And Bannon knows that, but they're all like, I don't know, it's like a locker room talk, you're like, I don't know, I've never been in a locker room, but the point is where everybody starts to kind of, have way too much testosterone going. Anyway, that was really fun. Now, this was cool. Jim Hoff came out. This man, Knowles, had infiltrated the Proud Boys in January 6th. And he went and reported to the FBI that they were not doing anything illegal. They were not the ones who were involved. They were good. And so Jim Hoff has just exposed this. Anyway, so on this clip, the only reason I want to show you this is to show the attitude of Steve Bannon. And this is the attitude all of us should have, that we don't really care. You guys, if you want to come at me, go ahead, make my day. And so listen to what, I love this. Listen to what, how Steve Bannon responds.
Hey, Steve, our heart goes out to you, our prayers with you and others who've been caught up in this. But again, they have the information. I'm an Irishman. I love a fight, right?
I love that. And I want every one of us to feel that same way, that we love a fight. Bring it on. We're not going to have any fear. We're not going to worry about anything you say or do, because we're coming. We're coming for you, and we're not backing up. And this reminds me of this wonderful passage in Joel chapter 2. This is us, that we are this. If you're part of this, I want you to be proud that God chose you for this amazing day. You are, not everybody's awake. We know that. And instead of being mad at people who are asleep, I want you to realize, that you are specially handpicked, chosen for this. And it says in Joel chapter 2 from the Bible, suddenly like dawn spreading across the mountains, a great and mighty army appears. Nothing like it has been seen before or will ever be seen again. What we're doing, no one's ever seen before. Where we're taking down this cabal, we're all working together and we're all in lockstep. Look at what it says down here a little farther. It says, straightforward they march, never breaking rank. They never jostle each other. Each one moves in exactly the right position. Every day, Nicholas, you feel like, okay, I've got to share this information. I've got to share that information. Like just earlier, you were saying, what's the best way to explain this? I just love that, because you are being directed by the angels to know exactly the right position to be in to get this information out. Each one of us doing that. They break through the defenses without missing a step. They swarm over the city and run along its walls. They enter all the houses, climbing through like thieves through the windows. And how do we do that? It's through social media. There are many people you've touched in your life that as you've tried to help everyone see the truth that you'll never meet, but you've been able to go into their homes through social media. It's really amazing. I too believe that Joel, he didn't know about this day and that we would have such technology as this. It's really amazing, the technology that we have to do this. So he's talking about that and how there's just something amazing is happening. Some people call it the frequency or ascendancy, or I just call it by God's Spirit that he's directing our steps. It's very exciting. And then last thing I want to show real quick is in 2 Thessalonians, it talks about all this would be kept secret until the exact right time. This is in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 5, verse 6. And what is holding him back, for he can be revealed only when his time comes. And when you say he, it's not, don't think of an individual person. Think of this entire cabal. All of our lives, at least mine, I really didn't know about this. I wasn't aware of these things going on underneath the surface, the tunnels and all these things. We didn't know. We just thought, oh, I'm for the Democrat or I'm for the Republican. And now it's all of a sudden it's been revealed, not to everyone, but for those who are in this army. For this lawlessness is already at work secretly, and it will remain secret until the one who is holding it back steps out of the way. I believe that the angels or the Spirit of God were holding this information back because we were not ready to fight. And then if you've seen on my channel, the sign of the Son of Man, this one right here, this beautiful sign that happened September 23rd, 2017. At that moment, all of a sudden, okay, so that's the alarm clock in heaven that says it's time. You guys are ready, and it's go time for us to take on this battle. Like Bannon says, I'm ready for a fight. Then the man of lawlessness will be revealed. All this lawlessness that's been going on that we expose daily, but the Lord will slay him. will destroy him with the breath of his mouth and destroy him with the splendor of his coming. This man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit powers and signs and miracles. He will use every kind of evil deception to fool those who are on their way to destruction. This is talking about the deep state, the ones who bought into this whole evil secret society, because they refuse to love and accept the truth. And to do right for people, right? We know that they still, like the January 6th committee, they still continue to do that. God will cause them to be greatly deceived because they believe these lies, and they'll be condemned for that. So I want you to see that also. For those of you who are new and don't know about this is the truth about end times. If you've been in church, they have deceived us and they've tried to scare us to pieces that this is the end of us. No, it's the end of them, and 1,000 years of peace for us. And on my channel, I have the audiobooks right here. I finally finished the audiobooks. I have the second book here. When you go on to, when you click Red Pill the World, you'll see my other book, End Times Major Clues from Minor Prophets. Like I was talking about Joel, this is all of us, all this is being exposed, and they, as hard as they try, they can't stop it.
Well, Melissa Redpill, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Interesting times. I wonder how things will progress. But, everyone share and subscribe this video to our channels and spread the word. But Melissa, is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish?
That was terrific. Just everybody stay in the fight and come see me on freedomforce.live.
Absolutely. Well, take care and we'll speak soon. God bless.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.